Listen to this story out of Dallas. I think you'll see your town a lot in this. This is from Dallas, the Dallas Morning News. Claire Z. Cardona reporting. She says the highest speed limit in Texas is 85, but that doesn't seem to be anything but a suggestion for many people in Dallas. The Drive recently published a list that detailed 228 tickets for driving over 120 miles an hour in Texas. Oh my Lord, Texas. The data comes from the Department of Public Safety. Covers Texas highway patrol stops last year, 2018. Many of the tickets, the majority of the tickets, were for driving 122 to 129. So in other words, of those tickets over 120, the majority were in the 120s. The fastest, a Porsche 911 driver, was supposed to be doing a maximum of 75. They were doing 166. Why are you driving 100? As my dad used to say about the as my dad used to say about the Autobahn in Germany. At that speed, you're not driving a car, you're aiming it. Some of the troopers' notes about what people tell the officer. One person said they were trying to save a minute on the way home. They were trying to save a minute on the way home by driving more than 120. Another had some road rage because they were cut off. So you may say, as you may think, as I immediately did, well, what's the fine for going that fast? That is not included in the public data. That's determined by the state statute. Punishments are meted out by the justice of the peace at courts in each county, etc. Varies on the circumstances. So in the Dallas area, tickets included 86 miles an hour over 86 miles an hour over the speed limit. That happened in the Chisholm Trail Parkway. It was the fastest speed in North Texas and the 5th in the state. And you're asking, what was the vehicle? It was a motorcycle, a 2002 Honda CBR motorcycle. He was doing 156 in a 70. That's actually, I'm glad they detailed that, because that's what I immediately thought was. Motorcycles are fun. I've had several motorcycles. They're also, and then none of them went near that fast, and nor did I have the personal mettle to go anywhere close to that. But they're dangerous inherent, right? Just because you have no protection, but also just because their potential for so much speed and so quickly off the line, right? Troopers' notes say subject increased speed from 114 to 156 and failed to stop for a red light. Well, That's just inviting disaster. Now you say to me, Joe, you don't know. This is bad. You're saying this is bad. You shouldn't drive this fast. But you don't know Texas. Get out there in West Texas. Yes, I do. I was just there. I was just there in the last few years, driving through West Texas. I get it. I get it. You're out in the middle of nowhere. I understand. I used to live in Iowa. Right? There, you get out on these country roads, there's no one for miles. But cows looking at you with that blank look on their face. Why do they always have that blank look on their face? I mean, it's either that they're perturbed because they're standing out in a hot Iowa cornfield in the middle of the day, or they have that blank look because they're absent-minded, because they're thinking about other things. Maybe they're working through advanced math calculations. Maybe one of these days the cows are going to turn and they're going to reveal a super nuclear weapon that's going to put them at the top of the food chain. We don't know. I get it. I've driven through New Mexico, Colorado. Some of these states, there's vast empty spaces. And you want to get there, so you go, maybe start out at the speed limit, and then you bump it up 10, then you bump it up another 10. You're like, this is good. I've driven across Kansas, right? It's endless. Kansas feels like it's 40,000 miles wide. I get it. I understand. But come on. Even in West Texas, you can have horrible accidents, including one that almost took the life of one of the greatest golfers in the history of the game, Ben Hogan, right there in West Texas. But Ben, being Ben Hogan, came back. But many of us are not Ben Hogan. All right, one ticket in Dallas was 85 miles per hour over the speed limit in the Chisholm Trail Parkway. It was a Ford F-150. Yes, that's right. The Ford F-150 was doing 150 miles an hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. And the next one, and this is just in the Dallas area we're talking about here, in this particular discussion, 85 miles an hour. It was a 2007 Honda motorcycle. They were doing 145 in a 60 at 2 o'clock in the morning. BMW driver, here you go, 68 miles an hour. BMW M3, 138 in a 70 at 10:30 in the morning. Now, I get it, BMW driver, I get it. But the M3, I'm not excusing, but the M3 is kind of built to go very fast. And again, it's the same temptation as the motorcycle. Not only do you have a car that's quick off the line, much like a motorcycle, it's, cruises at high speed. It's built that way. The M3s, the M5s are built specifically to be high performance. So the problem is the temptation in there. It's like sitting on a pile of $10 million, which you spend, and the next day the pile is back to 10 million. It's always there, ready to go, and it's tempting not to use that kind of power. And it goes on. Other cars that were going that fast were a Cadillac CTS, or going not that fast, but pretty fast. A Chevrolet SS, 2012 Chevrolet SS. What is that? Chevrolet, is that the, I don't know what that is. Is it a Cutlass? Chevrolet SS. And then a Corvette. A Corvette was going 134 in a 55 at 3:45 in the afternoon. Wow. A Subaru? A Subaru WRX was going 134 in a 70. Officer, I'm just trying to blow out the carbon. Sir, you have a Subaru. Yeah, but I mean, you know, you get them deposits up around the piston rings and the valves. I'm just trying to blow them out. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I don't, sir. You were going way too fast. One Honda CBR motorcycle was going 64 miles an hour. The officer said he left traffic, quote, way behind. I remember the first time a fraternity brother gave me, a fraternity brother of mine had a Suzuki 1000. And I was dating this girl. And I asked him, hey, I'm trying to impress her. Do you mind if I borrow your bike? He's like, nah, no problem. We get on the motorcycle. And I'd had motorcycles. I knew how to ride. I'd ridden for years. Nothing that big. And it was fun, man. We got on there. And then I opened it up. And honestly, it just terrified me. But I had to be cool because she was on the back. This is in Ohio, where there's nothing else to do. So don't shame me. There's nothing else. There's bowling, football, and bowling. No, I'm kidding. It was a great bike, and thank you to that guy for letting me borrow it. We almost died, but here I am telling the tale. Amazing speeds. I wonder what the data is for California. We'll have to check that, and I'll report next time.